Hi, this is Trisha Maravella, and I was just wanting everybody to know about this segment is that I am talking about the seven deadly sins that are listed here. And I just wanted everybody to understand that coming out of Christianity or whatever religion that you are, that these sins and so called sins that have been tied into the Christian concept of demons, on that aspect, on that side, there's comparisons that I want you guys to observe and think about for yourself. That these human traits have been demonized in order to create imbalances in people's emotions, especially when they are being taught that they are doing something wrong when they're really not. So if you look at Christianity, that they are trying to teach you that indulging in certain things is actually a sin. Like you're going to go to hell for being wanting to be beautiful, wanting to be, to show off more of your body, to be to explore. Also, in the adult realm, you're part of your adulthood. We have things that are seen as darkness, and your sexuality is to the prince of darkness, being and letting him, beings that you're a human being, letting him into your life. He'll help you to understand that you're not a sinner and it's okay to express yourself. Self-control, self-respect, be humane, be considerate, but you want to look sexy? Why not? What if you're trying to attract a lover or a casual partner? There's nothing wrong with being, free as an adult and having platonic relationships that are also, you know, can become sexual. But you know what? That doesn't make you a whore. The way that people see it as if it's evil to have multiple partners and go on dates. Like, it's exciting to have friends. There, it, you know, when you become an adult, you start to understand these things. Again, the seven deadly sins have more things to understand within them, and there are demons of the Gosha that you can put on your altar, to help exercise your toxicities. And that's what they represent. They are demigods. The Dukes of Hell are demigods, thought forms that we created that live in the astral realm, that are medicine workers of the darkness. So the dark angels, as an angelic being that they are, they look very, very distinguished. They're pagan spirits, but they're kind. They want what's best for you. They're professionals in those aspects of, the hell realm is what it's called. But, hell isn't real. Demons do not live down there in the earth, literally inside the planet. That is a myth. Anyways, so again, that's covering lust. Wrath. We need to understand that these seven deadly sins means that if you look at them in a specific way and understand, like, you want Satan in your life, then you look at the laws, the satanic laws that are put out there for you. I have a new list because they are not teaching it in a way that people can actually stay balanced and mentally healthy. So when they bring Satan into their life, they look at anger as a thing of ego, and they say, somebody steps in your territory, then, destroy them. What does that mean? Like when you're told that, that means that if they mess with you, then destroy them. Where's that going to put you in the end? You're going to end up in prison because these morals are not being taught. So, like I said in my early videos, is that um, this cycle needs to be broken. That we need to be setting an example for our peers. That whether you are a atheistic Satanist or not, whether you are theistic and pagan and you worship Satan in your own home with an altar with offerings, understand that he does not represent vengeance. And whoever is teaching this evil, that this vindictive evil that's creating this false image, it's like you're putting the Christian aspect of Satan over his real face. So you're painting a face over Satan's face. You know how that feels? Like you're painting a monster over his face. You're letting society call him a whore, call him, you know, a borderline, unfortunately, borderline pedophilia because of all these artists running around that you guys are not confronting. You guys are letting people shame and trample our true religion. Um, so this needs to stop. These artists are not satanic. They have something wrong with them in their human understanding. You see all this, you know, flesh and pervertedness being exploited. Like, where is your common decency? Like, it's awesome, but why is no one standing up and trying to prevent this from continuing? Because there's children and teens, moms and dads that need help who are indoctrinated, and they understand that they feel this urge, like something's calling them. They feel, you know, this connection with nature and magic and want to know more about Lucifer. And they go into the darkness and, like, what are they accepting into their mind? um, I hope that people understand that Lucifer represents our human rights, and he does want a better system for us. He does represent, legal standards. When you speak to the 72 Dukes of Hell, they will speak to you, and they have in the spiritual realm a system that no one is tapping into, that is like a court system. And so when you guys become furthered into your knowledge of Lucifer, that he is the perfection of what people expect from Christianity, but he is all about honoring yourself. He is perfected. He is what people would look at as an idol, and also a leader and a teacher that sets the example. Um, he speaks a lot about being realistic and all this common sense that we're wasting. We're not able to take the time because we work, and, we only get bits and pieces out of what we know he's trying to say to us. Um, he is dark himself, but he is not one who disrespects himself. Um, anyways, you do want to understand that we have natures that are needs, and we do not need to expect ourselves to be perfect. And there's no way in this world that that's ever going to happen. It is inhumane to deprive yourself of certain indulgences because, you know, you could go insane. Honestly, like, it's not that you need to do things to impress people. Like, if you want to be satanic, you do not have to do every little thing that I tell you. These are all just suggestions, but one of the biggest things that I hope for you guys to understand is that, as exciting as it is coming into Satanism and wanting to communicate with these beings, understand they're not aliens. The whole fall of Lucifer did not actually physically happen. He's not an alien. He is a thought form that is a God that we created with our own minds, and all that energy in the astral realm was collected into like a giant ball, a God form consciousness that is omnipresent and works through all things. He is the spirit, the male force, the male spirit of the planet, our God. He used to be Chronos. His wife, Esther, yes, that's her name, used to be Ishtar. She is an angel. She represents compassion. And I know this is a different style of Satanism for everybody coming into Satanism. Lilith is still a part of Satanism. Um, she is actually the female form of Lucifer. She's extremely dark, but that doesn't mean that she's a prostitute. And that's something that is being told to everybody who's a Christian, because it's in the Bible that Ishtar was the whore of Babylon. But the philosophy from the myths, from those old gods that are being taught, is that you have human rights. You have every right to be interested in something, and whatever that is, know to believe in yourself, be humane and considerate, especially to people with families and children, because they don't understand magic. It's a huge deal. The energy is very strong, and that's why people, superstitiousness is the way that it is. But know that Lucifer himself does not associate with Hollywood. He does watch it, he understands it, because there's a lot of exciting things. Like, he represents the things that the Illuminati stole. Um, and that a long time ago was the human behavior. And so, acting as an invention, and as Hollywood being called Hollywood as a human, uh, let's see, Hollywood is a pagan name. Okay, so a long time ago in the Celtic society, I'm very certain that also in the Nordic societies and other pagan societies and old religions, there were actors that came out from time to time. And being self expressive is a huge human thing to to people that they see it as vanity. They see it as greedy and selfish to be so self centered to want to become famous and an actor. But unfortunately, with our old human religion in Celtic paganism, all the magic, all the knowledge, everything was taken, people were murdered, and they stole all the knowledge because they wanted the power. They seen the power not only in the society workings with money, where we get the aspects of wealth and greediness. These people, this cult, destroyed the understandings that we had of ourselves from back then, was being free. There wasn't a whole lot of law. And the royalty and government and cults of their time back then got away with what they did because they we had nothing but rocks and sticks, you know. Anyways, so they took over, stole um, all of our knowledge, and started prostitution in their temples, and that's why in the Bible they teach that these old religions that used to be peaceful were only peaceful during the time that we had kind rulers. They found out how religion worked and started to teach people that it was literal, that myth was literal to create mind control so that they could reap the planet and enslave the masses because they got power, wealth, and sex slaves. And that's the whole fall of humanity, is the creation of religion being taught literally. So, anyways, all gods, keep this in mind, are thought forms that we created, that are spirits, that are thought forms that are like balls of energy, like a really big Pokemon that connects you to specific things like the sun, moon, and stars through your mind, because your brain is like a computer. And this is how the demons work as well. So when you create an altar, it's like a door to the spiritual realm through your heart and your mind. And once you accept the demons or whichever entity that you want to talk to, like your brain is a computer, and something switches on to where you're in communication with this wonderful entity that is a guide. So you can control this, and I'm trying to be very specific with you of how it works, is that once you accept them into your belief system and in your heart, and you can ask them to come in with prayer as well. Um, they work in your subconscious mind to help balance and weed out a lot of stuff that you probably forgot about, that you need to change about yourself, that you're too afraid to, and they'll help to lift you up and help you to become brave, um, and stay consistent as well. Don't be afraid of them. Like, they're not, if you believe that they're bigger than you, excuse me, if they're bigger than you, and you're imagining them as a monster, then your results in your own magic are going to be a failure. and understand that they are friends. They are not going to attack you. The laws are, oh, if I summon something, am I going to be attacked because there's no offering, because you have, so much respect for them? They are kind. They don't need offering. You can literally pray to them and they will be right there listening to you like a little friend. If you could imagine, like, this is how I do it, and it is so successful. It is amazing. Like, the demons that I speak to in the list of the 72 Dukes of Hell, they, to me, are love. Like, they are these super smart ninjas that will listen to my prayers and then, go off and fetch and look into specific things because they care that much. And they do. I've had so many dreams and so many things happen to me in my life that are miracles. And to believe that they're a sidekick to you, um, that to me is like the healthiest way also, because when you bring your kids into it when they're old enough, or you feel comfortable enough to try to explain this to them if they come up to you and ask, you don't have to say anything. But as the thought forms that they are, they're like in the astral realm, like a ball of energy. They're also omnipresent, and the spiritual laws of what they represent are the things that they touch, like the things that they go to specifically. They have specific rules, they have specific jobs, and it's good to do your own research in order to understand what each demon works in, what seven deadly sin belongs to them, and how to understand those things in a metaphorical light so that you yourself can wake up to the fact that in society we have been stripped away from paganism, and we are taught about it subconsciously in movies and everything else, to where we like intuitively and spiritually remember it from past lives, that those pagans that grow up and start doing magic is because it's a part of them. Like, they literally remember it. There's no way to explain it. But anyways, it's also why it works so well, is because that system, having an altar in your room or your house, is a pedestal that talks to the planet. Um, because it's made from the planet. Like, it's good to have an altar that is, wood or stone, because it's earth. And know that everything is energy, but knowing that you have self control over yourself and your own magic, and you can turn things off if you become superstitious. Like, magic is all about superstition, but it's not good to be afraid and take the wrong steps, or be confused about who you talk to. How to end a prayer. At the end, what helps a lot is to imagine a light switch after a prayer that you turn off. That's a method, and then it's done. You have to believe in yourself that or hanging up a phone. When you're praying, as silly as it seems, it's extremely powerful. Your mind is like a computer, and we are made of the elements. You have water inside of you, your blood. We eat from the planet, we eat from the earth. So, all those things you consume and uh, do things throughout your life, that's the energy that you want to put out. So, anyways, uh, thank you for watching this video. Remember that self control of your mind is self respect. Do not be fearful of these entities. Understand that the fallen angels are pagan spirits that respect us. They do not want to hurt you, they want to guide you. They look ugly in the pictures, but in this needs to be fixed because they are like princes. It's like Lucifer's brothers. Like they're all his brothers. Like that's what they look like. Um, and they work for a spiritual court system. So, last things last is that the spiritual court system is very, very important to understand that life is sacred, that things do need to be taken seriously to an extent. Um, Understand that nobody is perfect, but if we want a better world for ourselves, we need to better understand um, our system to make it as humane as possible, regardless of the animalistic behaviors that we have, the way we want to express those things. We need to be considerate for the youth. That's all. Okay. Also, expressively in music, and I hope this catches on, is that like 90% of Satanists that sing or want to be Satanists, they don't know what they're talking about. So if you would better communicate with Lucifer himself and the Dukes of Hell, your music is going to turn out way better because then you're going to be speaking for them. Um, I want to know what they're saying and what they want for the world. I try to talk to them as much as I can, but they want you to be self-reliant, so not completely dependent off of them all the time. So, anyways, yeah. So that's a lot. Um, so spiritual law, the spiritual realm, the demons, the Dukes of Hell, they are medicine workers, but they're also legal workers. So if you're not true to your word, you're not true to who you are, you cannot live up to your own standards. You only live through Satanism to impress other people. They are not going to like you. This is why pacts are so important as well, and I encourage you to never try them at all. They are unnecessary. It's like trying to prove something that, is extremely dangerous. It's making a deal with Satan or the demons. You have to be strict with yourself. If you mess up one time, you miss one promise that you've made in your pact, they will attack you because you owe them. Okay? So make sure that people are not making pacts. Do not teach this to your kids. The only way that they should understand them is to simply pray and have them in your life. Do not teach strict pacts and deals with Satan to children. This is a very powerful thing that can hurt you. It can harm you. They have legal rights to do so if you do not hold up your end of the bargain. Um, so that is supposed to be for professionals, professional wizards. Anyways, teaching in artwork, the pervertedness. Um, the other thing was that it's turned into humor because of Hollywood. They say, oh, come to Satan, sell your soul, and then they put it on a t-shirt. How many people do you know are actually doing that, and then they have no idea why they're doing that? um yeah, the legal rights that Lucifer has over the planet is real. I myself have been attacked in the past, and this is how powerful Lucifer is. And if you want to criticize me, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't be this and that. Like, if you're a Christian coming into my videos and you want to criticize my path, go right ahead. But understand that I know what I'm talking about. And why I'm guiding people into Satanism is because there's magic that's extremely valuable that can change your life. It's unnecessary, it's not called for. But if you need a miracle and you want to make a pact with Lucifer and you know what you're doing, you have to have enough offering to do so. Um, this isn't encouraged to hurt people, by the way. Um, it's energy. So if you were to do something like that, you're bringing evil and hate into this world. And yes, the spiritual realm, unfortunately, there are parasites that hinder human beings, and those are not the demons of hell. They're like these things from like another planet. Um, they really like to feed off Christianity to shame human beings, um, especially rape victims, blame them. Um, Anyways, so that's why you need to understand your knowledge, practice it for yourself to understand who and what you're communicating with. These things that are parasites, what I just described, that are not the demons, they want violence, they want hate, they want child abuse, they want rape, they want judgmentalness, they want racism. These parasites are not human. They're not from a religion. They feed off of the superstitious, fearful, and shame all of humanity. They like to create nightmares. You know, that's why Native people created uh, dream catchers. You know, that is practice of methods to capture negative energies from the spiritual realm. Because people, unfortunately, for thousands of years, there's been cults that were sacrificing children, and that's not Satanism. That is the evil cult that took over the world that we know as the Illuminati today. They are not satanic. They do that kinds of things in theory. I mean, you can tell there's evil. We all know it's there. Uh, the pedophilia in children's cartoons, they target you. Uh, you ever heard that saying, like, get them while they're young? It's because they want our future generation to struggle. They teach, children and teens to be hypersexualized by the time that they're teenagers, because if they were to conceive and, impregnate, then they're going to destroy their futures. No offense. Like, yeah, a child's a gift, but why are teenagers becoming adults so soon? It's because it's an agenda. So this means that Satanism is our true religion, we need to understand how outer influences are keeping us in fear from discovering who we really are and who we really need to be for ourselves and our families, and to not be afraid to, have our own spiritual gatherings at home, uh, because that and create groups. Like, remember that it's a responsibility to stay consistent if you were to create a sect of some kind, uh, or even have church meetings at home. Like, this understanding that these toxic influences have been around for a very long time, and it's to create consumerism, to keep you distracted from what's really happening, and it's the fact that there's an evil cult that runs the planet. They might let us, be free and like free range slaves, but why is there all this crime all the time? Like, why are certain countries still poor? Why are there wars? It's because look at their religions that they're teaching. Um, we need more realisticness, and we don't, as human beings, like, it is dire that we need to stay connected to the planet, respect the planet. It's our mother earth, and the sun, the star, and the moon, excuse me, stars, it's connected to our spirituality as much as, we need to remember who we are as a species, that we're not animals. We're not stupid sheep. We're not animals, and we shouldn't be afraid to stand up for ourselves, not be afraid to express ourselves, you know, or be afraid to be different. Um, there's not a whole lot that we could do if the government doesn't change, because they have all that control. And why they have the control, I hope everybody thinks about this, is, you know, they print the money. That's why they stay rich. That's why they stay in power. Um, that's why nothing's changing. And it's just so sad that it's gone on for this long, that we're so busy that we don't have the time to, stand up for human rights, but and change certain laws. But I hope that we'll always stand up for human rights. We'll always be able to have freedoms, but history could always repeat itself. And this is what I'm afraid of, is that with the way that technology has gotten so far, there's no customer service on Facebook, and they're coming out with these technologies that are taking people completely out of reality. Yeah, sure, it's cool. It's a cool invention. Science is acceptable to a certain degree. These things could become addictive. And what if a child witnesses something in these headsets and stuff that they've invented, and you're not able to take it to the court system? You should be able to sue. Here in Washington, they legalized also, food workers do not have to wear gloves. People should be really angry, because if something like blood were to drop in your food, why are you not allowed to call the police and press charges? What they'll do is send you to the health department, which will take up a couple days to come and confront the situation, and they'll probably help cover up the whole situation and keep the people that assaulted you in business, because they want people to be afraid. So, anyways, those are two major standpoints of the reality that we live in, and how Satanism is extremely important. People need to realize to become more of a community member and donate to the Satanic Temple, become an active member. Does not matter. You need to have a realistic belief system and understand that this entity is a miracle. The Temple of Satan itself is standing up for women's rights in order to protect their futures by, even rape victims who become impregnated. There's uh, maniacs that are trying to outlaw abortion in specific states. That is evil. Like, this also pertains to young teenagers that, you know, depending on the situation, they're going to put these women in jail. Like, that's what they're using. They are using their religion in the government uh, to control human rights. I don't understand how even Christianity itself can allow this to happen. Like, it's not okay. So I just wanted everybody to know that people should be doing some rethinking about who they are and what they can do as a community member. Your voice matters and you will be saving lives. I hope that you have gotten a lot out of this video, and I want you to know how important you are, and your voice again matters. And this applies